The story I want to tell you may seem familiar, and you may be even able to relate to that. There's a guy who has a simple dream of getting rich. Doesn't matter whether or not his intention is to retire his family and make sure that his future family will be well cared about, or whether or not he wants to buy cars and yachts. It doesn't matter in this point. His will is to earn money. And what this guy does is that he tries the popular business models that are out there to be found in the internet. So he tries, I don't know, drop shipping, creating a TikTok account, creating a YouTube account, recording some content, creating social media agencies, anything like that, anything you may even think about. Jumping from one to another, trying to find what works for him with the intention, with the dream of making money. Can you relate to that? Well, why do you think this person can't find the proper business model? Because I think that by far you may think that it's not good to jump from one to another, spending 2 weeks as a YouTube creator, 3 weeks as a TikTok creator, trying dropshipping for a month or something. For any of those, for the results to appear, you have to spend time on it. Of course, it's almost common sense, I would say. But finding the proper thing is trouble for some of you because you don't focus on the proper thing. In today's video, I want to help you find the purpose of your life. Because many of people have a very simple and shallow definition of what they want to achieve, what they work for, their definition of success, which is their purpose. Because if you ask any guy who is working on himself, we don't talk about the guys who spend all days watching porn and playing video games. We don't talk about this kind of guys. We talk about guys like you, like me, who want to make our lives better. If you ask them what they want to achieve in life, they will say a big house, a lot of money, whether to retire their parents and make their family's life better, or to buy a sports car, to create a loving family, or to have a lot of hot chicks, like hot women in their life. Again, there are some ways it can vary, but it all, in most cases, is a shallow view of a very similar life. And when you think of the part, right now, of money, the person thinks that, hey, I have to make money, so this dream comes true. But the way to come about it is not to focus on the money itself. Let me come with the quote I've heard of Sam Sulek. I don't know if it's his quote or he quoted someone else, but it's where I heard it from and it fits the philosophy of today's video perfectly. The guy who loves walking will walk further than the guy who loves the destination. Let me emphasize it once again. The guy who loves walking will walk further than the guy who loves the destination. You've probably heard the quote, the idea that you, instead of finding the things you want to achieve, you have to find problems you want to solve. Because that's the philosophy. But I've heard it a couple of weeks or months before and didn't really think about it that much because I didn't understand it down to the bottom. The philosophy is well explained in the book I may call you to, which is subtle way of telling fuck, something like that. I have my Polish version. I don't recall the proper title. It's like the subtle way of saying fuck, something like that, of Mark Manson. You definitely can find it. Let me read you a part of this book so you get a grasp on what we were talking about. A lot of us want to achieve a good looking body, but achieving it is impossible if we don't consciously agree to deal with the pain, with the physical pain coming from exercises, if we don't accept and love counting calories, if we don't accept our diet the diet of our whole life towards the goal of achieving the proper body, and if we don't align our whole life and our different chores of the day towards to be compatible with trainings. Many of us would want to have a successful company, but it's not able if we don't make our way to calculate the risks, if we are not able to deal with countless losses, with countless mistakes, with countless days without seeing any results despite putting in the effort every single day. Many of us would love to have a partner in life, someone we can call like another half of us. But it's not able to happen. It won't happen if we're not ready for emotions that come with breakups, if we're not ready to wait for the response on the phone, looking at the phone that's not calling while it should be, if we're not able to deal with sexual tension that comes with relationships. It's a part of a game called love, and you can't win if you don't play. That last sentence is very huge, and like I have it double checked in the book. But coming back to the philosophy, it's not about choosing the thing you want to achieve, because let's right now switch to physicality. If you want to achieve a proper looking body and it's your goal, like it's a very shallow and wide perspective. Let's just imagine something like a skill tree from any video game you've played as a child. You start at the very bottom with something that has to happen. So, for example, the first point would be doing any physical activity. But then you have different paths of development, whether or not you go for the bodybuilder at the gym or the Muay Thai fighter or a professional footballer. It all depends on which way you choose. But instead of a special skill that would increase range of your attacks in a video game, you choose the way of where you want to go with your right now body. So whether or not you want to focus on gym training and you basically agree and consciously decide that you're able to deal with the pain of the trainings, the pain of the muscle that comes the next day, every day after your training, the pain with being sweaty for multiple hours, the pain of probably commuting to the gym and commuting back, or maybe the pain of spending money so you build your own home gym. Those are the struggles of this path. But if you choose the football path, you have to deal with the struggles of having to have a club to play for. You have to deal with the struggles of also committing to the trainings, cooperate with the team, even though some of the people who are there might not be good, might not be like a valuable person for your life, but for the good of the team, you have to deal with them. Like every path you might choose comes with different struggles. And if a small boy, like a young kid, wants to become a football player, but is not ready to deal with the struggles, it may be his dream. But after some time, when we mature, we might realize that something we dreamed as kids comes with something we can't deal with. Because, let's be honest, you've had something in your life that when you were younger you wanted to become. Like you had this childhood dream of your future career. But with time you realize, hey, I didn't think that I will have to do this. I don't want to deal with this. And we realized it while switching from childhood to early adulthood. But now you have to realize it with every aspect of your life. I want you to basically go through every path you are on and analyze it, whether or not it's a proper path for you. Because you may think, as I've said, you may have this shallow dream of living in a big house or traveling around the world while with your girlfriend or your future wife. But what kind of wife do you want? Where do you want to travel? For what do you want to travel? From where will you take money for traveling? It all asks questions. Ask a question, sorry. But something also important to notice that when you solve the problems coming with certain path, with a certain aspect, certain level, it will get you some success. So if, for example, I deal with YouTube channel because I find the problems coming with it good for me, some of like the way I can solve them, and I achieve partial success of, for example, achieving 100,000 subscribers here. Okay, great, but it creates another problems I have to solve. I don't know exactly what problems because as I'm recording, I don't have 100,000 subscribers. Maybe someday when you watch this video, the number below it will be over 100,000 because I want to go this way. And I feel like the problems that come with it of recording multiple videos consistently without the guarantee that I will succeed, yeah, it may be daunting for someone, but for me it's something I can deal with. And that's the way to go about life. Not to see the end goal, which is a lot of in the media, in the social media, anywhere. Because it might not even be your dream, but you've seen Andrew Tate having a lot of cars and want to be like him. But do you really want to be like him? Do you want to deal with the problems that come with being like him? Or do you just want the success that he has without working for the success that he has? So keep in your mind, the guy who loves walking will walk further than the guy who loves the destination. So learn to love the proper way of walking and work and walk and go make a way to a better future.